How we doing, folks? Good morning. The markets are up. Our rank points are assuredly going to follow. Let's hop on into some games, huh? 153 points to Masters. Who do we want to play? Who do we want to play? I posted the Garchomp highlight this morning. I kind of want to spew some with this. It's such a good climb yesterday. I'll try to give Garchomp 14 points to play with. We'll see what it does. Ben, thank you for the almost 5 years. Welcome back. I had a second line. Thank you for the third of a year. Welcome back. If we find Chomp on time, we're probably not too terrible against Gyarados. We'll see how this goes, though. If they miss a beat, Garchomp beats their lunch. There's Daddy. Do you have it? Narrator, they likely have it. Through half their deck. Always. I mean, I think you don't understand the position I had before you left, Sox fan. My take on a lot of the cards coming into the set was that most of them were terrible from the expansion because they were worse than Arceus. And, like, Arceus isn't dominating the metagame anymore, but it is definitely true that most of the cards from that expansion are worse than Arceus, so they're mostly unplayable. So, I would disagree with your assessment that my assessment was off. Perhaps you could speculate that I expected Arceus to remain better in the metagame than it has, and it hasn't. I think that would be a fair take. But it's not... I lied, we're not going to lose 14 points to Garchomp. That was unwinnable. Yeah. I accurately called out Giratina as likely the best EX in the set before it released, and it turns out basically every other EX is varying shades of unplayable in the competitive metagame. Am I just gonna Mankey people again today? I might just Mankey people again today. Can do Arceus stuff as well. I'll try Infernape. definitely like pretty typical average feel pressure to not try and do anything remotely interesting or competitive, because there's a handful of decks that work, and that's about it. Oh, I remember reading during spoiler season someone called Giratina a worse Arcanine. God, gamers and their lack of ability to identify cards. That's a wild one. No, we spent $400 on the Crown Pokeball. It'll probably be, until they put a full art research in the game, that'll probably be the last time I spend money chasing things in this game. The cosmetics are just too expensive. This game has the most expensive cosmetics of any card game. Any game in general I've ever played. $200 and $400 cosmetics is really something else. You spoke that into existence in the next set. I mean, I assume full art, what's it called, is a when, not an if. It's definitely coming at some point. It just depends on when they want to break glass in case of falling revenue. They go energy, I evolve. They go energy, they clear me. I think I'm putting this here and hitting them. We'll get some chip shots in here, but we're probably evolving this Chimchar on the bench. Modern Ray Tracer. No Sabrina, one-time dealer. Yeah, Kahori's interesting for Snap. Her upside is that, like, she's a big card you can play on the last turn of the game, but if you play her on the last turn of the game, you don't get to know where your points are going. So, neither of us are going to have any energy here, but they have a mana fee. Was I supposed to Iono? Maybe I was supposed to Iono. The rest of our hand's kind of medium, yeah. And I haven't played a research yet either. Oh, I did. Or probably Ionoing next turn. I don't know that I expect Kahori to be a card you could just play as a generically good card, Steric. I think you're gonna need to build around her at least a little bit. They don't have Gyarados, maybe no Iono. I don't know. That's so close. So in theory, we're winning this game without any other intervention. We flare blitz them, they put us to 10, we retreat, we energy, they clear, we hit them. Obviously, they could strip the energy we play, or they could have a copy of Red here, or they could have a copy of Cyrus. Irida does not matter. Cyrus next turn will get us, or them winning the 1 in 6 could get us. You think content creators post videos of bad decks doing well to fill ranked with meme decks? No, that doesn't really happen. I mean, you could watch any streamer play Ultra for yourself. People aren't intentionally, they're not. You gotta understand, most people that play games like this don't even know content exists, much less watch it. And there's people that know it exists that don't seek it out either. Content creators are posting bad decks winning games because there's only so many good decks you can play in Pokemon Pocket. And if you want to showcase a different deck every single day of the week or 3 or 4 days a week, like, you know, there's only, the people post bad decks because it's new content. There's like 3 good decks in this game. You can't just post a video with one of the 3 good decks every day. It's not how it works. I'll play some more of this one. That was fun yesterday. Speaking of there not being a lot of competitive decks, I think we're just gonna play like the same 4 decks I played yesterday for the foreseeable future till we hit Masters, and then once I have a screenshot and said we hit Masters, we can push the details around. Actually, you know what? I should lead on Rotom because it's going to have a free retreat cost, so that way in case they're one of the Darkrai decks still playing Drudagon, I can hit past the Drudagon. Okay, and then when they're playing regular Darkrai, we get to go ahead and just retreat to the Carnivine. I actually think my live stream numbers would probably be about the same if I was mostly playing the top decks. I just don't think playing the top decks is very fun. Like, I think the Darkrai Giratina deck is relatively straightforward. The Gallade deck's okay. We play the Meowscarada Beedrill deck's, like, close to a meta deck. There's a chance that one grows up into a double-digit metagame percentage before long. Yeah, I like the Meowscarada Beedrill deck a lot, too. Alright, so Carnivine actually clears Darkrai in 2, which is kind of hot. Yeah, Mankey's definitely a list of decks. I think the 4 decks I've been enjoying that have been good for climbing for me are the Meowscarada Beedrill, this one, Heatran, Arceus, and the Mankey deck. Pokemon Center Lady is really unfortunate because it's the... If it had just been a potion, Red would have let us clear them. Wug Trio dropped off the climb. This Wug Trio really struggles against these decks with 4 EX Pokemon. I don't... really struggles is probably an overstatement. It's less good. It's closer to a flip. I think a lot of these other decks I've been playing are favorable in these spots. I don't know. We might Wug today at some point just to give it a try, but definitely feels like 50-50 at absolute best. Yeah, Cape's a nice top deck. It means Darkrai doesn't get a knockout here at least. So I think the game plan here is actually trade the Carnivine with the Darkrai. So that way I can put an energy on the Arceus this turn. So that way the Arceus plus the red can clear their Giratina with the energy on it. So I think we just go energy, Cyrus, you take my knockout, put Rotom up. I feel like they needed to put this one up. We currently have them dead. We have a copy of Leaf. Alright. Cooked. Free retreat costs are my kink chip. Love them. Love them. Love them. Love them. Ta-da! Good night. I'm playing Meowscarada Victory Bell. I've heard a few other people mention Victory Bell over the Beedrill line. It's cute. It's nice that it's on their one-pointer. I've not played Meowscarada Arceus. Maybe we should do that? That's fair. It's a very similar core to this deck we're currently playing. Maybe we'll try that today. You try anything with Buziel? I have not. My heart wants to try Buziel plus, my heart really wants to try Buziel plus, oh, I'm blanking on its name, Greninja, but my head says that's bad for my rank points. Alright, you ready to get hit by an Arceus on turn 2, gamers? It's not about to be pretty for the home team. These builds play Dawn to turbo Giratina's energy up. If they don't have Dawn, we have a shot. If they have Dawn, we're going to need to draw an absurd amount of basic Pokemon to be in this game. It's a good start. Oh, this is a little late. Yeah, my Into the AM code doesn't expire. It's Hoaglandia. It's good for 10% off. Ooh, they don't have it. That's good for us. Now I'm sad I played this out. The Ape Fossil deck against Giratina largely comes down to, do they start on... what's the word I'm searching for? Do they start on, Rocky Helmet or not? Alright, so after they take this point, we put Rotom up because it retreats for free. And then we really need to find a Carnivine here. This game's so easy. Am I going to burn Giovanni here? Giovanni puts them to 100, which means Arceus clears them through a Pokemon Center lady. So that sounds like a worthwhile breakpoint to hit. And then things to consider looking at this board is they have to take a turn off from attacking in order to be able to use their Giratina, because it only has 2 Psychic Energy on it currently. They got a little bit aggressive here. Happy Tuesday, Obi. Good morning, good morning. So now, I think the line is we Rotom the Giratina. So that way, if they clear this, I can Cyrus this and knock it out. And then the hope is we top deck our Cape, which we haven't drawn yet, so this can survive Arceus. Oh, wait, I can't top deck Cape and... Yeah, I guess we're just cooked to red. Well, I guess... We couldn't draw Cape and Basic. Yeah, exactly. I guess we just Cape and we do this and then we get this knockout here. Oh, but we're still dead to red because of Darkrai, yeah? Yeah, we should try the Meowscarada build of this. This deck has not felt good against Darkrai Giratina. We beat basically everything else we played against yesterday, but this matchup felt consistently bad. $170 is just so much damage on a basic Pokemon. It's insane. And this deck is like half or more of your matchups in Ultra 4. Alright, I'm going to build the Arceus Meowscarada deck. And we're going to give that a try when we get back. Appreciate everybody hanging out. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to do that while these adverts roll. If you're watching on the YouTube side, consider tap the like button on the live stream. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps the content reach some more people. If you enjoy me being here 5 days a week, that's a free way for you to help make this sustainable for me. Yeah, they played quickly at least. So it's basically the same deck as this, yeah? You just have less utility slots. What's the middle cat called? DJ Tanner, thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. Appreciate that direct support. Floor something? Flora? Yeah, Flora something. I go. Take a look at what other people playing this have been doing. Gosh, every time I pull up the tournament stats post ladder, it's wild how much everything fell off. All the events are so much smaller. What am I doing? Edit. You're playing a copy of Leaf, which makes sense. They're playing no communication, which I think is also fine. They were playing an Iono. Yeah, that tracks. We're stage 2 deck now. Also help you find, what's his name? They were playing no capes. I mean, I suppose you're just getting got by what's his name most of the time anyways. That's probably fine. Oh, they were playing a Team Rocket Grud. I don't know that I like Team Rocket Grud. Can keep the cape. I can also play a second Leaf. I kind of feel like I want a second Leaf. Our odds of starting on Arceus are like pretty high with only 6 basics. We swapped Cyrus for Dawn. I don't think Dawn is remotely good in here. You're leaving your one-pointers in until they die a lot of the time. Oh, I didn't do my flares. My kingdom for default flares. Please, deck editor. Quality of life features. Find it in your heart to give them to us. My kitties need clovers. I will say, I appreciate when they give us the option to put the same flare on every Pokemon in an evolution line. The part of me that likes my decks to look very uniform appreciates that greatly. Yeah, I think you're dead to rights against Darkrai Giratina any game you lead. You lead Arceus, so 2 Leaf sounds great. Speaking of. The tournament scene in Pocket pre versus post ranked is highlighted that people want to feel competitive without actually being competitive. I don't know. I think part of it's a convenience factor too. It's deeply and incredibly inconvenient to play in a tournament. It's just like the cold reality of it. Past the convenience, though, like, the other part of it is, gosh, probably, even in games that have variants like Pokemon Pocket, if I were to make up a number, I think the number I would make up is, like, something like 70% of people entering a given TCG tournament are dead money. Maybe even higher than that. And, like, if you're self-aware enough about your ability level in the game that you're playing, you're just much better off making your number go up on the ranked ladder rather than playing the inconvenient tournament that you're dead money in, right? Like, you don't get any prizes for playing the ranked ladder, but, like, if you're not in the top, I don't know, so you probably need to be, like, on average, top 10% of people entering a tournament, even with variance, to have a shot at cashing it. And if you don't think you're in that top 10%, you're better off just, like, playing the more convenient ladder rather than showing up to the thing you're dead money in. I'm gonna wait to evolve this just in case we're gonna cry for help at some point, I think. Plays around Mars. Talk myself right back out of it. That's true for most games and tournaments, though. A majority are never going to be in contention. Sure, but, like, most games and tournaments don't have super large amounts, right? Like, I guess someone correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, fighting game tournaments, for example, don't tend to have super large tournaments, right? Especially ones that are heavily skill-based like that. Like, you don't see fighting game tournaments with thousands of players in them. Usually they're very much on the smaller side. depends on the game. Something to call out here. We are immediately... Oh, God. We beat one, yeah? Okay. So something to call out here is we are immediately rewarded for putting 2 copies of Leaf in our deck. Because my second copy of Leaf here lets me shuffle this Arceus out without losing its energy. So I can put this Cardivide up and clear this, so this way I don't die to a copy of Red. Smash Majors can push into the 4 digits, but those are far less regular than weekly TCG tournaments. Yeah, that's a good point, too. The frequency and novelty of them is another thing that can impact other competitive endeavors. Whereas, like, the pocket tournaments had so many players because they were the only option. They were happening all the time. So there's not really a novelty factor to them, right? So that it's an experience factor is a thing to consider. That's such a peak Twitch chat comment. Should you play 2 copies of Red or 2 copies of Leaf? Because 2 copies of the copy of Red was also lethal there. Like, like, Leaf and Red both winning the game in that instance is a reason to play Leaf. An extra reason to play Leaf, not an extra reason to play Red, because Leaf giving us flexibility to maneuver in the late game and still win, while also giving us the ability to not lose on the spot turn 1 has a ton of value. So it's a card that, like, lets us fix our worst possible starts while also still having value in the late game in a spot like that. You don't just want to cut cards and change your deck every time you're in a situation, and you could have put a different card in your deck that would have won in that spot. That's just an endless, vicious circle of always chasing your tail. We are going first. Oh, fighting energy. Lead Sprigato. Kick Bodley. I declined to play a bench Pokemon out, I think. If they have a Rampardos, we're probably in a little bit of trouble here. I'm gonna fan our friends out here as we attach some energy. I guess the Carnivines might mean we're okay. Do I Sabrina them? Nah, gonna value later. The only concern with this line that I'm taking here is maybe I should have held, I think I should have held the Arceus. I needed to play out the Carnivines in case this came up and Rampardos declared this, but I think I should have held this in case they wanted to Hitmonlee kick it. I shouldn't have given them that option, I don't think. And now, the way this plays out, if this clears this, it's clearing itself, and then they don't have Rampage as an option for, or Revenge as an option for Marshadow, right? This only gets a bonus if it's knocked out by an opponent's attack. That is their second point, I suppose, though. Captain, thanks for the quarter over here. Welcome back. I think we're dead with this Marshadow lurking. I guess they need a way to put points on this. Or they need a copy of Red. Second Rampardo slide will be fine. I gotta say, this first game's not inspiring confidence in me. We'll play till at least until we hit. I guess this is our second game. We'll play till we hit a Giratina matchup, or a Giratina Darkrai, but fighting matchup seems pretty pits here. Oh. Maybe they just won't have their second stage 2 line and we'll be okay. No stock market ticker day. The markets are bouncing back, gamers. Like a dead cat off the floor, they rise. All aboard the capitalism, toot toot. They rise like a what? Like a dead cat bouncing off the floor. Personally, I really enjoy living through once-in-a-generation moments, so I'm excited. I'm excited to see if they're gonna stabilize or if this is the bounce before they fall again. Could go either way, really. And then we're dead here, even if I switch out, the Hitmonlee chases us down. For reference, and I'm not making this up, an actual term in the stock market is the dead cat bounce, which refers to the idea that even a dead cat will bounce when thrown from a very tall peak. So if you look at the markets, like, historically, there's often big volatile gains in the days following a drop. And sometimes it's just one drop and then it comes back, and then other times it just like does this as it goes down, and sometimes it does this while it goes up. But all in all, the capitalism keeps on capitalisming, and in general, the line goes up and to the right. Lone Weasel, thanks for the 2 months. I want to make it very clear to anybody who fancies themselves a centrist and thinks I'm being unfair to our Cheeto-in-Chief, President Donald Trump. I did not think you should blame Biden or Trump for swings in the market that were outside of their control. When COVID happened, the markets were going to have a problem. When the war broke out between Ukraine and Russia, the markets were going to have a problem. That wasn't on the president. The very explicit, unique thing about our current going-ons is that the president has very explicitly and intentionally taken his thumb and put it on the scale. This is not something that is remotely outside of his control. It is a conscious decision to do things that are going to cause things to become more expensive. So I hate Donald Trump. I think he's a Nazi. I think he's one of the worst presidents we've ever had. He's a rapist. He's a convicted felon. But I want to make it very clear. I want to be very fair about which things in the markets he has control over and which ones he doesn't. Cynical, what a great username while we're talking about what we're talking about. Thanks for the membership on the YouTube side. Yes, that's also something that often tends to be super true. When the markets swing like this, they swing at the cost of the regular person most frequently. People who have lots of money can just ride out the changes. People who have less money can't afford to, oftentimes. Recessions and depressions generally serve as vehicles to transfer wealth from the bottom up in the long term. Whoop, almost put that on the wrong one. We'll put the cat up front. We'll put the car divide here. We'll put the lime in the coconut and drink it all up. If they don't have a copy of Giovanni, they are cooked here, so that's nice. Meowscarada doing Meowscarada things. Very meticulous. Thank you for the quarter of a year. Welcome back. All right, we're on the board. The Vine Cat, speaking of numbers going up, the Vine Cat Arceus is making my number go up. And it feels so good and it makes me happy when the number goes up, chat. That's all I want. All right, I said my bit about the market, so we memed a bunch about it yesterday, but I really don't want to dwell. I really don't want to dwell on our Cheeto-in-Chief, so I'm going to ask that we move on from the topic in the chat, and then issue a friendly reminder that if you're one of the wonderful people that supports me in chat, we have a very active Discord server that has excellent channels not only for Pokemon Pocket and other video games, but it has channels for politics and everything else in it too that you could talk about 24/7. You should hop on over there and join the always-on part of Hooglandia. Ooh, Kitty Beer Match. I bet Kitty Beer Match slightly favors us with Cardivines. Going second might also be favorable in the Kitty Beer. if I were to venture a guess. Is promo Floatzel worth trying out? Floatzel plus Greninja could be okay. That's on my list of things I want to lose points with once I get a screenshot of being Masters. I assume I am not going to stay in Masters for very long because I just want to get there and get my screenshot, and then we're going to go back to, like, trying different decks. But I really can't emphasize enough. I had a lot of people comment on... hold on, thinking. Nah, I think I need to... Do I tempo Sabrina here? They typically don't play X speeds, right? If I tempo Sabrina, can I cry for help again? What do we think of that? I think I'm into it. Sorry, finish my thoughts. I had a lot of people comment on my recent meta report where I talked about the current meta being very well balanced, and people commented, which reflected my experience, that there's actually not a lot of deck diversity inside of there's not a lot of deck diversity inside of Ultra. And I don't care how well balanced your game is. Ladder systems simply mean you're not going to have a lot of deck diversity in your game. It's just a symptom of making it so people feel compelled to give themselves the best possible chance to win at every point. I don't care how well balanced your game is. When your ladder's your primary way to play, you're going to heavily suppress people's desire to play different decks. They're very discouraged from experimenting. It's just how these systems work. Well, I was gonna debate whether or not I wanted to evolve this, but we drew the other Meowscarada, so I don't have to have a debate about it now. Just easy go, upside to getting to call for help a whole bunch. And in Pokemon Pockets is extra bit from discouraging people from trying things, because in games like Hearthstone and Marvel Snap and Magic Arena, when you make it to the top, you can't fall back out. And in Pocket, you can't even make it to the top if you want to keep in. You have to keep playing meta decks, otherwise you fall back out. And the way I'm going to play, I want to experiment with decks, so we're just going to fall back out, and that's just how it's going to be. But for a lot of people, they're not willing to do that. If you aren't willing to fail, you're never going to innovate. So if you're too afraid to lose rank points, you're never going to make inroads at finding new things to play. That's just the truth of the matter. Like Floatzel, right? Like, I kind of want to try Floatzel. Blastoise, I would love to brew with Blastoise. We're probably going to do that once we hit Masters and I get my screenshot. But until we get there, is it worth setting 30, 40, 50 rank points on fire to try and figure out those decks? Nah, I'd rather get to Masters to get my screenshot first. Are the rewards based on your peak or your ending? They're based on your ending, so I'll probably lose some end of thing rewards by doing what I plan to do, but that's fine. All right, so we'll hit him with the cat. And then we'll pivot to the Arceus to clean him out. I may or may not want a second Arceus on my bench, so we'll wait on playing the other bench Pokemon out for now. It's been so long since I played against Magnezone, I feel like I'm pre-programmed to, like, expect, expect what's it called? Expect their turn to end when they charge energy. So this is really clever on our opponent's part here. They are, I'm out of basics, yeah? I think I play this anyways. I can't move my Arceus up and take this knockout without being dead to a copy of red. So I think I have to take my shot here with this. Should we have used red there? Probably not. You should read red. Is red becoming more common after the set release? It would be impressive if it was more common before the set release, considering the card was released in this set. I'm going to Iono here because there's a chance they've been sitting on red, and now this gives them... My hand stays the same, so I actually have my whole deck in my hand. Giggity. And I think I'm just no longer in a position to be able to beat a copy of red out of them. So I think I just do this and take my knockout. Well... And we lose to them having red, but they haven't played... Their deck has one research in it still that we haven't seen. Meowscarada coming to the active doesn't bode well for our hero, but I don't think I'm ever beating red long term here. Well, let's rephrase. I'm never beating red and Magnezone. So if they have both, they get us. And our opponent is an absolutely time-wasting chode, activating Pokemon abilities, attaching energies, evolving their Pokemon, and then finally playing their card that wins them the game as the last possible. The card games change, but the card gamer is taking as many needless game actions as possible before finally playing their card out that deterministically wins the game. At least in games like Magic the Gathering and Runeterra, like, your opponent could have reactions or responses to your things. But in games like this, where, like, I literally can't take any game actions on their turn, they're just holding me hostage, spinning their tires before they play the card that wins. That's so obnoxious. It's to compensate for the lack of emotes, absolutely. These are people who would be rolling their face across their emotes if they had it. I think at its height, Legends of Runeterra is the best card game I've ever played. I often described Legends of Runeterra as... Legends of Runeterra is everything card gamers say they want out of their card game, while simultaneously card gamers don't know what they actually want, so they didn't want to play Runeterra. Yeah, it's like, Runeterra always to me felt like the monkey paw of card games. Because, like, it was super high skill and super low variance, and it had a ton of decisions loaded into every single turn, and that meant that it was a game that a lot of people struggled with and didn't want to play. Mark Rosewater, the lead designer of Magic the Gathering, has a quote that card gamers are very good at identifying things they don't like, and they're very bad at solving problems. At solving the problems around the thing that they don't like. I think Runeterra kind of exemplifies that to a degree. Yes, Runeterra also had the most player-friendly economy of any digital card game that's ever been created, and that meant that it was a spectacular failure in terms of revenue. For context, for people who aren't familiar, Legends of Runeterra made around 25 million USD in 2.5 years. Pokemon Pocket made 400 million USD in just 2024, in 3 months. Just to, like, help you understand the scale of difference between these two. And Pocket's obviously in its own weight class, but like as another comparison, Marvel Snap made over $200 million in its first 2 years. So Pocket's in its own category in terms of monetary success for card games, absolutely. Are they retreating this? That energy means they're retreating this, yeah? Is Runeterra is on life support. It's no longer being actively developed, really, is my understanding. It's being actively developed as a PvE game. Yeah, there you go. Accurate. I had heard something about that. I appreciate the fact check. That's game winning, yeah. Come to mama. Come to mama. We put 1 energy on here along with this. Then we'll start building up Arceus until we find this. They are 2 turns off of attacking with anything. All right, so red wins the game on the spot, 1-9. I think... Second Meowscarada. I was going to say, I think when I miss, I switch to Cardivine and take the hit. But with second Meowscarada, that's probably not necessary. Play this out to play around Mars. I think the second Meowscarada means we're done here. This definitely felt really clean. Compelling reason to play Meowscarada in this core. The other Cardivine Arceus decks I've played felt like they struggled against Darkrai Giratina, and we give them a real run for their money here. Look at that. Coffee's for closers, and Red is here to get himself a cup of joe. Good night. Sleep tight. All right. Beating the boogeyman means our pile of cards has earned itself some more games. I want to throw our deck list up here on the screen. Or take a brief pause for the cause to let some capitalism roll. And we'll be back in just a few. If you're new here, I always take a brief break from playing games while we take an ad break, so I think it's super rude when ads happen over the top of games, so thanks for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching on YouTube, consider tapping the like button. Appreciate the almost 200 folks that have done that this morning. You're great. Mikey, thank you for the half a year. Welcome back. Two gold Pokeballs sponsored by the capitalism you're about to experience. Accurate. This ad revenue paid for the gold Pokeballs, gamers. It's not gonna pay for themselves. Yeah, new Ekans. Part of, and it's, again, just it all comes back to breakpoints, right? Like, part of the problem with Arbok, and we've been talking about Floatzel too, and Floatzel to a degree, is, Darkrai is dealing 100 damage right now, right? So, only being at 100 versus having 110 is a big delta. I know you're cycling, but it looks like you're vibing to the music. It does, doesn't it? It's funny, when the bike comes up sparingly in a YouTube highlight, there's always people that come, they're like, oh, I just thought you liked to dance in your chair. I didn't know. For people who are new here, this is often what I'm sitting on in the morning before lunch. And just for clarity and advertising sake, I was given the chair for free by my wonderful sponsor, Flexispot. You can check them out. The overweight white man and adorable toddler are sold separately. But speaking from looking at my demographics on my channel, I'm confident many of you can provide your own overweight white man at home for the chair. So you probably don't need to acquire that. I can also provide my own toddler. Look at that, 2 for 2. That picture is about, I have lost more weight since that picture than the toddler weighs. I really need to take it updated so I can show them side by side. That photo's like 2 years old. You've lost a toddler. The toddler is bigger and Jeff is smaller. Accurate. It's a pretty solid start for us, and Marshadow's never ideal to lead on for them. But also worth calling out that both sides heavily prefer having first energy advantage in this matchup. Was I a vegetarian prior to the weight loss? Yeah, I've been a vegetarian since I started living on my own at 17. a little more than half my life. They didn't energy the Marshadow. Interesting. What do you think about the cat line with Eggplant? I think Executor is much worse against Darkrai and Giratina. I also think giving up a 2 knockout points is a big liability. I like that. I like that Cat with Cardivide lets you go 1-1 finish on 2. Prismatic Walrus, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, Arceus is kind of like just your show card in this deck. A lot of Arceus decks, Arceus is the finisher. In this deck, he can finish for you occasionally, but really the deck wants to be set up to use Cardivine and Cat to win the games for you. And then, like, obviously you hit stage 2 variance with the Cat sometimes, which means you're gonna end up leaning into Arceus, but, you know, just don't be unlucky, gamers. If they have second Lucario here, they could clean this out. If you didn't draw the Evo there, would you still put energy on the Cat? I think so. It's close. I think so is the answer, because I don't think I have time to set up Arceus this game regardless. Because, like, I need to put the Cardivide up and put an energy on it. And now the Rampardos trades 1 for 1, and then I have 240 HP Pokemon left behind, which are pretty tanky. And because they knocked themselves out, I get the first attack next turn, which is a big deal. If they find a copy of Sabrina, we could be in trouble if we don't find one of our 2 copies of Leaf. But otherwise, I think we're okay here. We have 2 Leafs in however many cards here. They've not played any Sabrinas yet, and this deck often plays 2. So they're probably about 25% to have it here. No Sabrinas, GG, extra the Cyrus. Interesting choice to just leave themselves that on board, but it's their prerogative, enjoy. They were dead anyways. Prismatic Walrus, thank you for the 2 months. Welcome back. Thoughts on revisiting the Aerodactyl Pidgeot deck you'd played a bunch of? Yeah, I think that could be fun. There's a small laundry list of things I want to revisit. But I also know that, like, revisiting and retuning means losing a good chunk, and we're just, like, incidentally close enough to Masters that I really just want to, like, check it off the box of things we accomplished at some point just to say we did. before I dive into spewing a whole bunch. Fire energy? I don't see a lot of that up here. Cardivine? Cat? Cardivine? Cat? It's crazy that people are masters already. I'm actually surprised at how few people are masters. I saw someone comment the other day that they made it to masters. They were still top 10,000 getting in at the floor. I would have put money on. I would have put money on there being more than that by now originally. With this draw, this Cry for Help's actually 50% to find our stage 2, yeah? There's 2 Cardivines and, 2 big kitties. We'll probably bring back viewer-submitted decks once I get to Masters. That could be a fun challenge to see how much LP we can hang on to while playing viewer decks. I think I am crying for help again here because the line is they put Charizard up clear, I hit them for 130, I clear for 50. No, I'm going to go straight to new decks after we hit Masters. I'm not going to be worried about falling back out and being back at Ultra. I'll have a screenshot. We'll link it in chat when people ask, but really, I'm just not going to let the rank system suck all my joy out of the game. Thanks. It's fun. This situation here is funny to me because I was watching a content creator before I went live this morning, and the loose quote they said was, "No, Mars is really good. It bricked our opponent at least twice today," which really reinforces why so many people play Mars, because it's so easy to talk yourself into this card was useful and good because you genuinely just don't get to know when it actually helped your opponent. In your mind, Mars can always be the hero. You don't know when they were already bricked and stayed bricked, and you don't know when they didn't have it and you gave it to them. Yeah, unless you're also playing Scope, right? They have the potion, so we're dead anyways. Unfortunate. I think we needed either first energy advantage or Meowscarada line faster. Oh, I could have drawn our one copy of red. Oh, that was premature. I didn't take my 1 in 10 there. I have a single written here. Yeah. Mistake. Did the Mankey deck seem allergic to going second when you played him as well? No, and that deck wins plenty of games while going first. The Mankey deck is very good. Gitaxian Probe would make Mars better. Absolutely. This deck has been allergic to going second for us so far today. Which isn't the worst, I suppose. Cat doesn't mind going first. No basics! Could be a quick game, gamers. Baby Kitty is a wonderful draw here. Whip it good. Easy come, easy go. Arnavar, thank you for the 17 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We're just 12 wins from Masters, gamers. 12 wins away. A big part of the power level of this card is that it really doesn't mind going first or second, as part of its appeal, in my mind. The Jesus Fish, thank you for the 28 months. Welcome back. Everybody clench! Thanks, Misty. Help! Help! I'm being Gyarados! Help! That was the worst possible hit. If we hit Cardivide or the stage 1, we could have Sabrina to kill the Magikarp this turn. And instead, we're here. Man, bricked our 66%er to win the game on the spot. So sad. Man, that's frustrating. At least this is guaranteed to get it, but I'll probably draw Gyarados this turn knowing our variance. Or another basic. I just have so many live draws. That sucks. I just like won the game on the spot if we'd have hit that. Or both. Can I win the game anymore? What's the line? It's Cardivine, energy here, grab our stage 1. I need them to not take the energy from here over 2 attacks. They clear this. Cardivine hits them for 50. And then Meowscarada finishes. Lose to an Irida in the middle. Still worth it to Sabrina to put on early damage. No. Absolutely not. All right, if they don't have healing, I just need to not lose the 1 in 5, 6, 7, 8. And then this build is not playing any copies of Cape. We needed to hit the 66%er that first turn with the kitty draw. We'd have hit our stage 1 or the Cardivine there. We'd have cleared the Magikarp before it could evolve. And then been very far ahead. Yes, Meowscarada meaning you just kind of typical stage 2 problems, right? Like I'm playing Meowscarada, which means I don't have room for Cape. And even if I had Cape, there's no guarantee we draw it there. But we were just dead because we didn't have it. I don't have a second copy of Red. Only have 1. Ember Charmander. What year is it, gamer? So they're gonna get 2 charges with Moltres this game. Assuming I hit my big cat on time. If they have Charizard on curve, we're probably cooked. What a sick beat. Queue up with a deck to try and metagame Darkrai Guarantee and run into Charizard twice. Average TCG experience. All right, we hit the 50-50 to find Meowscarada here, which is nice. Maybe they'll brick Charmeleon. Narrator, never ever bricking Charmeleon. Maybe they'll brick Charizard. Ooh, so unlikely. We're probably 66% or better here. I think our line to win involves clearing the Moltres with the Carnivine. I think I want to keep the energies on here. We need to draw Carnivine plus Cyrus. In 2 draws. Do I have enough turns to charge Arceus? Does it look like I have enough turns to charge Arceus? Instead of asking the question, count. Counting is hard. We do not. I think we're just dead. Alright, I had 7 more rank points for this deck. Oh, well, move along. So far, this deck kind of feels like the worst halves of both of the other decks it's kind of half of. Trot Girl says counting is easy. It goes 1 + 1 + 1 is 7. Username checks out. You've also faced a lot of fire decks. So something to be aware of in Pokemon Pocket is that just because your opponent's cards have a weakness to you does not mean that they're favored. For example, having played the Cat plus Beedrill deck and the Carnivine Rotom Arceus deck, I think both of those other decks have pretty reasonable Charizard matchups. I'm kind of cooked here if we don't draw our stage 2, yeah? Because if I cry for help, I die to the Darkrai next turn. So I have to do this. It's a shame we didn't have a leaf. That's good for me, yeah? I think I read here to play around a potion next turn. I haven't played either copy of Research yet, so when there's still 2 Research in my deck, I like to play my other supporters out a little bit more aggressively. I suppose the downside to using that red aggressively is it means Big Cat can't clear Giratina from 150. Are they gonna have double potion to punish me anyways? Oh, that's fine. We'll see if they attack to clear or if they charge the Giratina. I think they're supposed to charge the Giratina. Yeah. You really want this set up before you start going. What do I think of Sabrina? Crack Giratina for 130. The problem is, how do I beat the Darkrai after? Because this is gonna have to finish this, and then this clears this, and then I don't know how I win from there. It's like, what does my line look like to win the game? This feels like the correct sequence. However, I don't know that I could win the game from here. Is the problem. Yes, and again, Arceus just kind of sits on the sideline. Arceus is in this deck basically explicitly to enable Carnivine. That does not feel good. Cyrus doesn't do anything, right? Unless we put damage on the Darkrai, but then when my Carnivine finishes, they trade. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna throw this deck in the trash can. It's very mediocre. Felt like the worst halves of both the other good decks. Alright, time for Old Faithful. I'd already used Red Sterk. Do player levels matter much in gameplay? Not really. Excited to lose this game because the Cyrus isn't a copy of Red. We split them 1-1 yesterday. So you're saying there's a chance. Let's need a Rampardos. Feel like people have started playing more meta decks in the last 2 days. In my experience, it's actually the opposite, which is just important to remember that, like, whatever very tiny number of games you play in a day is not remotely representative of the metagame as a whole. Yesterday we had a streak of like 9 or 10 Giratina decks in a row. Today we went the opposite, and we had like a 10-game streak of like Charizards and other random nonsense. We're all basically non-meta decks. Punish for not playing the Skull Fossil out. We had such a good streak the last couple of days. It might not ironically still take us through the end of the week or more to hit Masters. Just so much variance. We don't have our one cape is the problem. Through both my researches, so Rampardos dies to Darkrai is the issue here. The hope is, if I draw Primeape followed by Cranidos, we can win this game still. $100 is just so much. Alright, I'm gonna set a new rule. If you suggest I change my deck when I call out a card that would be useful to draw to play more of that card, you should expect a timeout. It's just the singularly most obnoxious thing that chat regularly does. I get it. You could always constantly change your deck to put in a different tech card that wins you the game in the given spot. And then you'll lose a different game because you were playing a different card. There's no magic bullet that is the best card to play. Every single tech card is situationally better or worse in different spots, or you're giving up consistency not playing something like Iono. Have some adverts. We're going to continue Spirit Greg points when we return. Deck should play more Shang-Chi. Yeah, that's the real getter. What if we swapped out Primate for Giratina and then switched Rampardos for Darkrai, and then we cut Aerodactyl and swapped the energy and... Yeah. Nah, we're most of the way to Masters. I need to be able to post our made it to Masters without playing the top decks video at this point. We've mostly accomplished it. We're into the last leg without playing dry meta decks. Just put Cyrus in your sideboard. My kingdom for sideboards. Thuzao, thanks for the brand new Prime. Appreciate that direct support. Hear me out, Mana Fee 18 Trader. Heard and rejected. I actually don't know how much better my win rate would be if we were playing all meta decks, because I really don't enjoy playing mirror matches, and I think people really underestimate how much worse their performance is when they're not having fun doing what they're doing. Is it Meowscarada, Beedrill, a top deck? That's the closest thing to a top deck that we've played, but it's not remotely popular enough to be a determined top deck, in my opinion. Hit me! Hit me! Rip. I don't think their deck ever plays X speed. I'm gonna Sabrina them and then use Reckless Charge. And then I think they're just cooked when we evolve into Monkey here, yeah? I guess they could have Magnezone, but we have Rampardos, so... They probably need Double Zone. Single Zone. Single Zone lets them play the game. Double Zone. Double Zone would be scary. Do I Cyrus now? Yeah, I think if I cut them off of the Double Zone line... They're cooked. Insert generic comment here about cutting the Cyrus for a different card that would win the game. That means I have to draw more. They have the Cape 2. They have their Stage 3. Stage 2 plus a Cape. So you're saying there's a chance. I think this deck hasn't showed up on Limitless, because I think a lot of people just don't want to innovate. I think there's just not a lot of people playing in tournaments anymore. There's also probably a good chance this deck's only okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Every bit of the buffalo. Alright, 1 Cranidos, 2 Iono, 1 Research. 50-ish percent. Why attack here? Because otherwise they kill my Rampardos. Why would I not attack? The zone couldn't attack. It could retreat and Skarmory could hit me, yeah? And then I end up in the same spot, but with 1 less point. It had 2 metal energy on it, Keepers. Do you think the mono basic theory is here to stay? I think it's not a theory. I think it's a very explicit design choice on their part. Rampardos would survive the Skarmory, and then it would trade with the Skarmory if they don't have Geo. Yeah, that's a good call, Steric. I think that's a good. I appreciate the clear articulation from Steric as to why the line is good. That's a very, very good example of a positive, great chat interaction. Rather than just needling me for making a mistake. I appreciate your discussion, Steric. Yes, this Makio is from the very first promo drops of the game. So if you haven't been playing the game since literally its inception, you don't have it. Really deeply unfortunate issue with the economy. Oh, I think we're just dead again. Oh, by mono basic theory, did you mean this deck? I guess I need clarification from the person on the YouTube side. When you said mono basic theory, did you mean this deck where I'm playing a single basic, or did you mean the fact that all of the top decks are basically mono basics? Consistently. It's a relatively important distinction. This deck is in one basic Pokemon. I don't know why you would call one off-meta deck that's not very popular a theory. It's weird to me. I guess I don't understand what you're asking then. The meta is whatever is on my screen right now. It is, in fact. Yeah, the law stops them from evolving, but it doesn't stop them from hitting us for 50 and then retreating and clearing us with Rampardos, so I believe we are still dead. After watching your video on this deck, I opened Pocket after maybe 2 months. I was using Aerodactyl, Iono, Cranidos, and Rampardos, and after spending half the daily gold limit, I realized I was opening the wrong pack for Iono. Oh, it's rough, giggity. Is this a new deck? We played it on Friday, I think. Somebody posted it on Reddit. I don't know, it's fine. People asking why it's not more popular. I don't know, the more I play it against the other good decks, it's honestly probably not that good. It's fine, you play okay, and you run a little hot, you'll climb with it. We've climbed a ton with it, but... I really can't emphasize enough that the reality of card games like Pokemon Pocket that don't do live balance on the regular, in reality, there's really only like 2 or 3 truly competitive decks at any point, and everything else is just varying degrees of you can have success because you ran good or your opponents ran bad. These games just have enough variance that you could hit a good streak with your deck that's not very good. Most of the decks you're going to see highlighted on my channel and every other channel making Pokemon Pocket content, especially the ones trying to put out a deck highlight every day, are going to not be good. There isn't some secret sauce that is waiting to be found. It doesn't exist. And if it does actually get found, it'll be propagated and super popular very, very quickly. I need to evolve and then go digging for basics next turn. Basics. Rocky Helmet doesn't really matter here. Irida also doesn't since we have the Daddy Monkey. Big angry Daddy Monkey. Yeah, I agree, Cool Squirtle. I think the biggest source of appeal for this deck from a laddering perspective is that it wins and loses fairly quickly. So even if it's only like a 51 or 52% win rate deck in reality, it's like pretty reasonable and optimal for laddering just because your games are fast. That's part of the reason we climb with it, is getting in high volume of games is key to being successful in this ladder system. Pokemon Pocket's ladder system is the most grindy ladder system in any card game I've ever played. Volume of games is more important here than anywhere else. It's always important to a degree, but it's even more important here than others. Unfortunately, I think we're just dead. Yeah, it's kind of like the red deck wins a Pokemon Pocket for sure. All right. We've failed to have success with absolutely everything else today. So there's very clearly only one solution for spewing rank points anyways. Might as well. If it's all a giant variance fueled crapshoot anyways, might as well lead into it. Sometimes you just gotta pop throughout shit. Fire energy. This next Charizard matchup is pretty solid. A little bit of variance, we can clear the Charmander. Normal Trace is good for them. Gives them more things to spread out between. X Speed's a good draw too. I assumed they drew X, otherwise they would have retreated it last turn to not get weakness shot, yeah? Or maybe they didn't realize that was an option. No Charmeleon is lovely for the home team. Looking for a Misty. They split the fire energy, chat. They're scared. They know their Charmander is not long for this world. Unlucky. Unlucky. Pray for no dawn. My opponent would never. A lot of heads. Go find our big man. Pokeball him up a friend. alas. Sabrina buys us a turn, yeah? At least on board. Sabrina buys us a turn, and then we draw Wug Trio, and we hit heads up as to we win the game from there. Dead to... Oh, no, it doesn't buy us a turn. We don't have cape. We don't have cape. They get us for 60. And we've actually played against more Charizard than Giratina this morning, which is wild. Currently feels like we're heading towards an early Marvel Snap Day. We haven't had one of those in a while, but today's Pokemon games have not been fun. We've had absolute terrible games with everything we've played for the last 2 hours. We'll give it another hour or so, but we'll see. We're gonna play Snap for the new card release this afternoon regardless. It just feels very defeated to, like, not want to be able to try anything new because the ladder exists. It's very, very sad energy. Hey, Baker, thank you for the over 3 years. Welcome back. If Erica their Weedle, do you think that means I don't have another basic? It must, yeah. Yeah, I really like Snap's ladder system overall. It's one of the more forgiving ones. Like, unironically, one of the only terrible things about Snap ladder system is that they have too many bots pre-infinite, but the density of bots pre-infinite also means that you hit infinite faster. And I was really surprised when they announced in this most recent patch that starting next season it'll be even easier to get back to infinite. They keep their hamster wheel pretty short and tame, which is appreciated. Fine, it's looking like this game's gonna be a freebie for us. Says local man about to get team rocketed. Hit me! Hit me! Lovely. Yeah, Wug Trio is like I need to feel disconnected and free deck. If everything's going bad, even when I'm trying, I might as well play Wug Trio. So that way when things go bad, it's like, yeah, it was just variance anyways. And then when things go well, you're like, well, you know, we're running hot. Is this deck still the same? Why would I change perfection? What a silly question. Unironically, I think the game is over. I don't think this deck can ever win this matchup when you're going first without a Misty Heads. You need first energy advantage or Misty advantage to have a shot here. Which, you have one of those two things a good amount of the time. 50% of the time you have energy advantage, and then some of the other 50% you hit heads on your Misty. Fine, we'll draw another Misty next turn. It'll be glorious. I'll potion so we don't die to a red, but like I said, I think we're done here. Why don't you insult my shiny Wug Trio? He's beautiful. So rude. Hey, what did he do to you? Insult my shiny Wug Trio? Alright, the opponent has taken a needlessly aggressive line, and now there is a pop throughout combination that can win the game. This was dumb, right? Doesn't do anything. So I don't have any healing, so we're dead to the Nightmare Aura anyway, so I need to kill this. No justice in the world, just my opponent and I. There is a permutation of draws that lets us win this game. We go Evolution next turn, Misty plus Heads the turn after. Unlikely, but not zero. We are now zero. At one point, we were 12 games away from Masters, chat. Now we're 18 at a minimum. Nintendo can get around the tariffs by using floating claw machines just outside of U.S. waters. You can take a boat and pay $450 for unlimited attempts to win a Switch 2 from the claw machine. If you win, it counts as a personal treasure exempt from tariffs under maritime salvage laws. Just truly the dumbest, it's really hard to put into words how deeply stupid the timeline is. Like, it's tough. It's tough. I really... Deeply, deeply stupid. We'll play around them, hitting a bunch of Misty Heads on Articuno by putting a cape on. I'd really like if you could just kill the Magikarp Wiggle. That'd make me happy. Thanks, I appreciate you. Our variance is about to turn around, gamers. We got maritime law to get around tariffs on the Switch 2. We hit a heads on our Misty, and we 1-3'd the Magikarp. Everything's coming up Millhouse from here on out. Can't be stopped. Can't stop, won't stop. Bradley Holloway, thank you for the membership on the YouTube side. I appreciate it. Wug Trio just letting me know that his loving embrace is always available when I'm feeling down. Wug Trio's like, come here, Jeff. Come sit on the noodle's lap and let me calm your troubles. Good, clean living. I'm currently 21-3 in Ultra 2 with the Heatran Crobat deck you featured earlier. All right, when we start losing with Wug Trio, Bradley, we're gonna play some games with that, Your Honor. Thanks for the words of inspiration. 21-3, that's pretty incredible. We should play some Heatran. I think Heatran's really well positioned right now. He's a sweet card. Haven't played him yet today. Due to tariffs, Wug Trio has been reduced to a Wug Duo. Oh, man. Don't you dare. Don't you dare! Oh. Oh, just can I just have one screen after I lose a game? Why are there so many screens before I can get back in the queue? There's so many screens. I just want to pull the slot machine lever again. Why does it take so long to get there? Contemplate the loss. Yep. Not as many as Snap. To Marvel Snap's credit, when they put too many end screens at the end of Conquest, they cut them in half or more in like less than 2 weeks. They very quickly reconfigured that, like incredibly so. Top tier Harley, thank you for the 14 months. Am I letting the lead Wiglet die? Oh my goodness, they're playing XP. Do they also have Giovanni? Don't do it. Have a heart. Oh, they researched. Okay, I have a chance. Misty, 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 Misty. Misty, 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 Misty. I don't think I've ever played a card game where the active player base wasn't actively complaining about the card game meta they were experiencing at that window of time. Like, truly, I don't think I've ever experienced, we're happy with the metagame we currently have moment. I did do a Magna Zone, but otherwise maybe okay. I threw 14 cards. Alright, I got 7 more rank points for Wug Trio when we get back, I think. I'm gonna run upstairs and grab my lunch during this ad break. We're gonna lose 1 more with Wug Trio, or we'll win until we get to Masters, and then we'll try some Heat Trim. Be your babe. All right, into the suffering we go. Another Skirmery gamer, maybe? Not a lot of Dialga left anymore. Finally got a 2-star in my Wonder Picks. That's tomorrow. Like, that's the most frustrating part of them not giving you 2-star Wonder Picks with any amount of frequency is that there's so many bad 2-stars now, especially on these latest packs where they added significantly more bricks. It's like, why can't you just give me 2 stars somewhat consistently, please? I wonder how many hourglasses huge whales have. I have over 1,000 Wonder Pick hourglasses. And realistically, I'll just never spend them. Yeah, whenever I talk about the economy pain points for Pokemon Pocket with the booster packs, people would always try and bring up Wonder Pick as a way that, like, well, Wonder Picking smooths out variance or helps people that need to build their collections. But the reality of the Wonder Pick system is the more cards they add to Pokemon Pocket as a game, the less useful it's going to become, yeah? Like, it's all right, like, right when the set releases, and generally it's going to be biased in favor of whatever the latest expansion is. We'll play all our friends out here since we drew this to maybe evolve. Man, I wish I had a keep here so this could live. Would have been really good for us. Thanks for the quarter of a year, Coco 4. Welcome back. If they want to clear this Heatran, their Giratina is stuck on 1 energy, yeah? Crobat more or less does it. I think we're in a good spot regardless. Them giving us redraws at our... Iono seems real weird in their deck. We tried this list with Rotom instead of Crobat. We played with 1 Rotom and 2 Farfetch'd the other day. It felt okay. Less powerful, more consistent. Yeah, and then when they wheel us into the Crobat here, the game is done. If you haven't seen this deck list before, it's one of the many deck lists you're missing by not keeping up on the highlights channel. You can find the full list over on Hoaglandia Pocket on YouTube. We were playing it a bit last week too. Finally pulled my first Arceus. I got lucky and picked the other from Wonder Trade. Sure, friendly reminder to anybody out there at home who's Arceus list, you can trade for that card now. I don't think Weavile, what's it called? Sounds very good, no? What would be the appeal of that? What problem? It's kind of just a different deck at that point, but Weavile without Enabler sounds pretty atrocious. I think with the 2 heads on Magikarp and the Crobat in hand, I just build Arceus here. I've been right around 170, 175 pounds since the end of last year. My maxes on my lifting are all up since then, though. Which is the goal. I can finally bench my body weight with some consistency, which is one of my goals. How do you make time to work out between your kids and your streaming schedule? Just don't sleep, gamer. Come on, I just don't. With the cape draw, we're gonna cycling share. Cycling share has nothing to do with lifting. It's good for getting cardio in, though. I can put my body weight on a bench, and that's about it. Yeah. I think with the cape draw, I just have to hope they don't have red. Their decks usually play 2, so we're probably dead here, but they hit 2 heads on Misty. There's not a lot we can do other than hope they don't have it. You are embarrassed of your lifting capabilities. I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder, but they're fine. Let me grab. I have a document. I don't want to tell you what they are. Never repeat numbers from memory when you have them written down. Where are they? What are my maxes? We squat 200, we bench 180, we deadlift 240. So, you know, not gonna be any competitions anytime soon, but these are markedly higher than when I started, like, was it back in October? Was 7 months ago? Consistency, chat. Consistency is key. 2 to 4 days a week. Do you go to a gym or do you have a setup at your house? I have, one of my buddies has like $3,000 worth of exercise equipment in his garage. So we spend 45 to 90 minutes in his garage 2 to 4 nights a week. Depending on what the schedules with all the children permit. I follow lifting program. Yeah, that document is a spreadsheet for the Shiko 3-day program. Which is really nice. All those, I had the maxes written down because what that does is it auto-calculates like what weights you're supposed to do every day for the program. And even the spreadsheet even calculates like which plates you're supposed to put on the bar, so you don't have to think about it while you're exercising. Just get to do your thing. I don't think we put second Zubat out. This may or may not be another Heatran, we'll see. Definitely want to draw evolutions here, so I'll Pokeball before we research this time around. Shiko is Sheiko. I just like the spreadsheet in chat. Is this shared? I think I have it shared. I'll have to just make a copy on Google Drive. Oh, I think we're cooked if they have Dawn. Are you still playing Marvel Rivals with the boys? Nah, my kids have very short attention spans. They don't stick with one game super long. What are they playing right now? They are currently playing Pal World, and they just picked up Sea of Thieves. Yeah, Donna's rough for us. Oh, they didn't have another basic. I guess Heatran could have lived. They could have it and be sandbagging it too, though, yeah. An Iono digging for Crobat, or Golbat. Crobat. Yes, Fortnite is a big concept they come back to a lot. I'm through both my researches, which means we're like 1 and 3 to land our big bat here. Oh, should I have put Cape on Heatran? That's close. If I had put Cape on Heatran, they would have needed 2 basics. And then obviously we'll put Heatran up because it retreats for free, but we're going to need to shuffle it out. Crobat! I think we're cooked. I guess we're dead to Sabrina with this line too. I've got 7 more points for this deck. It's just been a day of spew though for us. Console or PC? They've both gotten into PC games a lot more recently. We've got a decent range of gaming PCs in the house because I try to keep my streaming rigs somewhat current. And the older ones are still good when I cycle them through. So I've got what are the 2 in my basement? There's they're both i7s of varying age, both older chips at this point, and then one's got a NVIDIA 1080 Super, and the other one's got a 2080 in it. Ooh, that's a piece of candy. So now we go duck, quack you, and then next turn we can quack them plus Crobat them. Kitty looks a little cooked. Still cooked. Do you have a potion or a... I guess this cape saves them from a Geo, but this game is just done. We played the opponent's deck a little bit earlier today, and I was really whelmed by it. Took your advice on not cheaping out on things that go between you and the ground. I'm currently at the tire shop. That's a good choice of thing to make sure you get a reasonable version of. Especially do any expressway driving. Don't want to blow out there if you could avoid it. Mind linking the stack? It's up on the Hoaglandia Pocket channel. That was one of the highlights over the weekend, if I recall. Solid openers for us so far. Gyarados is a little scary. Although, if they don't hit heads on Misty, we're probably fine. Especially with burst energy advantage. It might be a play Marvel Snap early kind of day. We haven't had one of those in a while, but we are sliding aggressively in that direction. The hope here is they don't have Gyarados, yeah? Slime. Play to our out. I have a copy of Sabrina in my deck. And then if they brick again next turn, I can draw Arceus, and then Arceus will clear this. Oh god. Oh. Life sucks and then you die. Energy here, they clear this. Energy cape, they hit me, we clear them. Gonna be dead to red, but technically not dead on board. Looks like red if you squint. For those of you just joining us, that was our second or third water opponent today. Not in a row, but in a row for water opponents that hit multiple Misty Heads on us. One of them maybe only hit one. One of them definitely got 4, and that one got 3. Like a Zubat and Arceus here. With red everywhere, do you think there's an argument to be made for maybe including a copy of blue? What would the argument be for including a copy of blue? Would it be that someone's paying you to put terrible cards in your deck? Help me understand the argument. Red is everywhere because it's a generically good Pokemon pocket card. Blue is a very bad Pokemon pocket card. You play 2 capes before you play the first copy of blue. You probably play a potion and a Pokemon Center Lady before you play the first copy of blue. Ash is better than Gary. Yeah, essentially. Alright, well, at least we got a free win after the free loss. Blue is sort of okay-ish before Cape. I don't even think that's true, if I'm being honest. It's all like some occasional play as a card from YouTuber matches, I guess. Yes, proactive cards tend to be better than reactive cards, and red is a proactive card and blue is a reactive card. Blue is a reactive card that's face up on the board and your opponent knows it's about to happen. This may or may not be right. I can see a world where it's correct to just jam energies on the Arceus, but if they don't have the Executor, this is real good. Narrator, my opponents always have the Executor. Holy moly! This is it, gamers. This is the moment. This is the one we've all been preparing for. The holy gosh, my opponent doesn't have it moment. Crazy. Positive variance. It's so beautiful. Onions greater than eggs. Why can't we use their powers together? So we go hit you for 60 and then hit you for 100. I think I'm Ionoing. Try and find my way into a goal bet here. I also haven't played a single research yet. Perfection. Holy. Gotta believe in your Ionos, gamers. So we're attacking for 130 next turn, essentially, with the Crobat. Which means we're clearing them through a copy of Erica. Need Erica plus Cape. Or Erica plus Potion. The White House says an additional 104% tariffs on China are going into effect today at noon. Oh, man. I'm gonna put these up just for a second. I need to see. Oh, they're still positive. Look at that. Maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be fine. Oh, they didn't hit me. That's cute. Did anybody else see the China Communist Party post a video of Ronald Reagan speaking? Which I didn't have that one on my bingo card, but I thought that was. That made me chuckle. No, there's no reason to keep anything here. I think they're cooked regardless. Much like all of us, I think they're cooked regardless, Chip. Which speech of his? It was him sitting there just talking behind a desk with a microphone about how tariffs are bad, basically. Because he lived through the 1930s, I believe. I believe he lived through the 1930s. Someone fact check that. Was Reagan alive in the 1930s, or was he just talking about it from a historical viewpoint perspective? I don't actually know the timeline on that. He was not, right? He would have been very small if so. I don't know when he was born. He was born in 11. Okay, yeah, so he would have lived through the impact of the last round of tariffs we had. Opponent ran out of time there a little bit. I was not expecting that Executor. Oh, I guess we played this deck for a little bit, yeah? I'm gonna put a cape on here so that way we live the Executor hit. We featured this deck once upon a time. It's on my list of things to revisit at some point. Maybe we should. Yeah, it was the anti-meta eggs deck. It's my favorite deck from the last set. Yeah, we had some solid games with it. I think I want a mostly no innovation pause until we hit Masters, which we can hopefully do this week. Gotta win 200 points. Or are these not refreshing? These must not be refreshing while they're hidden. I just opened the DAO in my browser and it's down. It's lost almost everything it's gained today. What a system. I assume that's the market's response to we're gonna put another 104% or whatever on China. The vibe has, it's a very vibes-based economy for sure. We need to put the ticker back up, maybe. I don't know how he thinks this game of chicken is going to end with middle and lower middle class people, all middle class, upper, lower middle, losing plenty of money, and then his billionaire buddies being able to buy it for pennies on the dollar afterwards. It's really hard to overemphasize the fact, gamers, that recessions facilitate a transfer of wealth from the bottom to the top. That is the reality. It's what they do. Oh, I need to find a cape and some basics. That was, unfortunately, a very good Mars for them. He says before he redraws the Crobat! What an easy game. What an easy game. Can I have a cape as well, please? Cape and a basic. The problem here is we're dead to red, yeah? I get to murder this, but the Giratina has our number. Maybe they won't have a copy of. Maybe they won't have a copy of red. We'll win the game. It's not a red, gamer. What's my sequence to be able to win this game? I don't know if one exists. The Reagan video I referenced earlier was on Twitter. I think I needed, like, if I hit, like, Leaf. If I hit Leaf next turn, can we survive? They take 20. Assume they don't have second copy of Red or Darkrai, because they can't beat either of those things. They deal 20 to themselves. I deal 50. I deal 30, so they're down to 70. And then I deal 40. Nah, yeah, we're just 10 short no matter how we slice it. All right. I think I've got 7 more points for this deck. Despite our mediocre variance, we're up a little bit with it, and I really like this build. It's super fun. Throw it up on the screen. I'll be back in a couple of minutes with some more. Thanks for checking out. If you're watching on the YouTube side, I'd really ask that you press the like button. There's always so many people in here, and so few of them can find the button. Really, I know many of you are wonderful and come back every day. If you want me to be able to do Pokemon Pocket stuff, just push the button. It's free. It helps. Do it. Do it. Oh, there isn't I referenced a Sabrina earlier. There isn't a Sabrina in this build. There's a Cyrus. I think that's fine. The darn stage 2 just takes up so many slots. Is there little enough? Can I play Wheezing Crobat Arceus? I kinda wanna lose 7 more points with this one. I know I said we weren't gonna brew, but it's been so long since I played Wheezing, gamers. Can I play Wheezing? I have full art Kogas that have been collecting cobwebs. Is that legal? What does Weezing's breakpoints look like into Giratina? You'd have a pretty similar core to this, right? You only need 1 slot. You lose the Heatrans and the Duck, and then 1 utility card, and then maybe you shuffle some of the others a little bit. You probably have to give up Cyrus. You definitely don't need Dawn. So Dawn's the easy cut. That's probably bad. They're both pretty cheap attackers, though, giving you time to build Arceus. I don't know. I just want to play bad cards, chat. Is that asking so much? Want to maximize our chance of finding Arceus here, so I'm gonna research before we Pokeball. Perfection, actual perfection. Second Heatran, please. Yeah, you know. I don't think it's true that most of those decks run 2 Nurse Joy. You're right that some of them play at least 1, but... Ooh! The Dawn lets us be super aggressive here, yeah? Well, is it worth it? No, I'd rather Heatran take a hit, yeah? I was gonna say I could retreat, hit them with Crobat, and then retreat it, and then Dawn the energy up, but I'd actually rather he just get Raging Mad, yeah? Maybe, I guess it's appealing to be able to, no, if they evolve it, I wouldn't be able to clean it out anyways. And now the region, they can't hit us, so the region Mad Strike gets them in one. And even if they don't hit us, the region Mad Strike plus Crobat cleans them. Okay. Has anyone been playing with Greninja in this metagame? I was just thinking about how much I enjoy Stage 2s with sweet abilities. It's been an eternity since I put Greninja in anything, it feels like. Darkrai Greninja has a couple of tournament fringe things. We did play some Greninja Giratina, that's true. That was okay. Greninja Floatzel, probably not. Probably not great. You just got done saying no bad decks till Masters. I did. Does anybody else find it super weird that they added Pokemon tools to this game and then there just haven't been any in the last 2 expansions? I was thinking about that the other day, and I hadn't talked about it on stream, but it just feels super strange to me that that's the case. Ooh, 2 Mewtwo's daring today, I see. We'll Transop Bear. We're definitely looking for a Golbat here ASAP so we can crack for 60 with weakness. Zubat doing his best far-fetched impersonation here. I'm used to strategy games where every expansion introduces a new mechanic that they're promptly forgotten about, so I didn't think too much of it. It's funny because it's sad. The shiny Mewtwo deals an extra 20 damage to your wallet. I'm gonna be really curious to see if they ramp up the number of premium pay-only variants like this. Because Marvel Snap started with them very sparingly, and then we all know where they ended up at. They're everywhere. Energy, they kill the duck. Energy, they kill the Heatran. Arceus starts attacking. I think that's my best line. Because they have to use their energy for the turn to attack with Giratina this turn. And then by the time I clear their Giratina with my Arceus, they're only going to have 2 energy built up elsewhere. They could skip dealing damage to my Farfetch'd for a turn. Definitely doing this. They go to 90. And then I put them to 60 with Crobat. That's not enough. I think we're still okay. Interesting. If I leaf out, I die to Dawn. So I can't just leaf in the Arceus. I think I do this now, because it lets me go crack this for 30, and then Duck hits them for 40, and then they go to 20, and then Crobat finishes. And obviously they have a giant glut of healing, but we're going to need to get through some of that at some point anyway, so it might as well be now. The problem here is, how do I think we're just going to be dead to red is the issue. And that assumes I draw the cape to begin with. I need the cape to not just be dead outright. I was not anticipating that. That seems really good for me, yeah? With the Cyrus? Yeah, I think we win the game from here, too. So I go Cutting Link, tap this. And then I get to Cyrus this one up. And then I'm in a position where I get my first 2 points, and then Arceus plus Crobat can clear basically anything. Our opponent's game plan here seems a little bit far-fetched when I run through all of the different permutations. Nice of our opponent to show us that they put a trash card in their deck, I suppose. Full art Mars. Listen, I have a full art Mars too. It doesn't mean I've ever put it in a deck. Just got a 15-0 to reach Master Ball from here, easy peasy. At one point, we were 12 games away from Master Ball today. And at another point, we were down to 18, so... I reached Ultra and took a break. Smart. Not a Zubat in sight. Excuse me. Did you just put a Rocky helmet on your character that my Heatran was staring down? I just want to make sure I understand what's going on. So just so we're clear, you've put Rocky helmet while staring down my Heatran. So I just want to make sure there's not a part of this equation I'm missing. It feels like there must be a part of this equation I'm missing. Take 20 damage, Hogland. Yep. Thank you, sir. May I have another? I mean, I'm a little sad they took my cards away, I guess. I don't know where I'm supposed to put this energy. I think it's here, but I don't think I want to fill the bench. Symbio, thank you for the over 3 years. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Big Heat Daddy solos another opponent. Oh, my back is angry, chat. I think it's time to stand up. Time to stand up for a little bit. 2x Mars into concede. Can we get a third? Asking the real questions. Asking the real questions. I think I lead Zubat with Golbat behind you. Can you use 2 Crobat abilities in the same turn? You can, Mike. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, if you have 2 of them queued up. Just like if you have 2 Greninjas. Hopefully they pull another basic. I don't hope so. Wow, I would you wish my opponent could keep playing the game. I want him to brick and die, gamers. Imagine wishing my opponent gets to actually play the game. Come on now. I'm not trying to play fun, interesting games. I'm trying to make my rank number go up. These two things are almost entirely mutually exclusive. If they miss on Kirlia, I think I hit with Golbat again. If they have Kirlia, I think I need to pull the Crobat out, so that way we don't get got by Gallade the next turn. Yeah, I think with that missing here, we just take our crack for 40. And then next turn, we can Crobat, retreat for free, Heatran, and then tech for 70 a turn effectively. Arceus only takes 90 from Gallade if we don't put energy on it. Aggressive Cyrus makes sense though. In the leaf to counter him at least. We do a clean 70 here to us, not a small amount of damage. They run 2 Cyrus. They do likely run 2 Cyrus, yeah. Which would be a little sad if they clear my Arceus, then I can't use my fun Crobat ability. Hey, McGee, thank you for almost 4.5 years. Welcome back. Good afternoon. If they don't have another Cyrus here, this game is over. If they do have another Cyrus, we could still win, but they're favored. My goodness, imagine if this Mars had been a card with the text box instead of a card that drew me a professor's research. Could be a Pokemon communication. It could be an Iono. Just like any massive range of actually useful cards. They don't even get to trigger Revenge on Marshadow next turn because an attack didn't clear their thing. A Pokemon ability did. Oh yeah, Sudowoodo hitting there also means they're just dead on the spot. Mars into concede 3x. Yep. Oh, definitely a Zubat lead. Find a Golbat, it's not all bad. Hey, there. We're weak to fighting? Never before. I have been so excited to not be weak to lightning on my Zubat. If we get more games like those last couple, can we get a Mars into concede video? Maybe. Oh no! Wow, I'm glad I played. I almost didn't play the other Zubat out. This is brutal. Yikes. Alright, well I'm gonna move along on that draw. I guess maybe we could top deck a Heatran there, but I think most of those permutations are bad for us. Arceus lead without first energy advantage into fighting. Oof. Them starting Marshadow is about as bad as things get for them, though it's still pretty fine. If I need to find our one copy of Leaf plus something to move into. Kinda, question mark? I guess if we find Leaf, we have the Golbat, so that qualifies. You know, I wonder if I'm supposed to just put the other Arceus on my bench and then build that one and let the first just go down. I don't think we're ever beating Rampardos. All right, Heatran, I got 7 more points for you, buddy. We're gonna let you burn them when we get back from these adverts. Thanks for hanging out, Don't Go Anywhere Gamers. This one is quickly becoming my favorite deck for the season. I really hope they power creep interesting stage 2s at some point. It's really sad that, like, the best stage 2s we've had have been, like, just like Charizard and Gallade style cards and never the interesting ones. Can we get better numbers on novel cards in the next expansion? That would be nice. It's really annoying how many of the best checks are just insert, gigantic, legendary EX. I agree, Bob. That's such lazy design. Yeah, more good utility stage 1s. I want more stage 1s with, like, Pokemon abilities. Or utility attacks like Kakuna. I think Kakuna is such a good stage 1 design. I want more like him. Stage 1s that had useful abilities from the bench would be sweet too. I'd be into that. All right, Heatran, you got 7 more rank points, bud. Use them wisely. How was the weekend? Couldn't have been anything noteworthy. I can't even recall what exactly I did. I think we were just home. I have to look at my calendar. We have first energy advantage. The sand's pretty medium. Might be an Iono on one angle. Carp. Yeah, I think it's just, I would like new ones, please. Obviously, we can't know if we're helping or hurting them, but our hand is trash. Still not great, but I think better than before. I assume multicolor energy decks will assuredly be a thing once we get our first Dragon EX. We'll get better support for that. That feels like a when, not an if type thing. I believe we are on the hope they never draw a Gyarados plan. I don't know how that's going to pan out for us, but I think it's the sequence we currently have available. How do I win this game? I think winning this game involves saving one of these energy to Dawn. So I'm gonna do this. So they'll put Gyarados up. They'll clear Heatran. And then we'll put Heatran up. We'll pivot into Farfetch and hit them for 40. I need Arceus to not lose energy. Okay, that Heatran losing energy is actually fine, as long as I don't lose. I need to not lose another. I need them to lose their energies for these subsequent hits. So the plan from here is we quack them for 40, we evolve here. And then next turn, we can go energy here, Dawn up to here, and then hit them plus Crobat them to finish them. 40% on the Crobat. And obviously there's iterations of Rampaging Whirlpool and iterations of Irida and other stuff that can make this go wrong, but I built a line that let us have a way to beat the Gyarados on board, which is all you can really do in a spot like that. I believe that means we're just dead. I could draw my one copy of Cape, and then we're dead to red, but not dead on board. All right. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day on Pokemon stuff. Snap has a new card releasing in about an hour, and if I'm being honest, the games today for Pocket have been kind of on the frustrating and low quality side for me. So rather than be annoyed, I'm gonna go play the other game and be annoyed over there. There is a highlight on the Pocket channel from this morning. If you want to see some Garchomp action, check that out on the Hooglandia Pocket YouTube channel. And I'll be back with some more Pocket tomorrow. Probably tomorrow afternoon. I think we're going to start on Snap tomorrow morning because Snap's unplayable in the afternoon because of their feature location. So if you want to keep watching here on Twitch, we'll be snapping on Twitch. If you want to watch on YouTube for some Snap stuff, you'll have to kick over to the Jeff Hoogland channel over there.